Need a good one to start out with so I can talk my sh. Thanos said, come and get me. See who's really about it. What's going on, painters? So I've had this idea to start a new video series where I kind of tell stories from my past, and then I have animated comic strips that go along with those. I was looking for some comic inspiration the other day, and my family has a massive comic book collection, all from like 80s, 90s, just looking for different inspirations, and I was like, man, comic book art is insanely good. Like, I wish that more people could see this. But along with wanting to show off this art, I kind of noticed that, you know, because they are from the 80s and 90s, a lot of them are super messed up. This one's missing the complete inside. So I ordered some protective cardboard and plastic sheets that I'm gonna put each of these comics in, and eventually they'll pretty much all look like this. While I'm doing that, I could show you guys a bunch of my favorites in this collection, and then once they're all packaged up nicely, I could go in, maybe pick like my top 5, top 10 comics that are in here, and just discuss some of the art behind them. And oh man, so much monster inspiration. Like the X-Men were fighting monsters. Ghost Rider fighting monsters. Monster inspiration out the And speaking of whoever was drawing comic books back in the day, super horny all the time, because every female figure in these is insane. It is ridiculous how a crime-fighting superhero can have boobs the size of Mars in skimpy clothing. So if somehow, some way, one of you artists that was making 90s comic books, you need to chill your dick. But yeah guys, that's today's video, packaging up some comics and just discussing some amazing art. It's also a huge excuse for me to just nerd out really hard on camera and get super excited about all these comic books. I love this shit. For the most part, this box is all Marvel. I think the other one's a lot of DC. I'll probably make a part 2 in the future where I like go through the other box, but for now, we're going through this Marvel box, ton of X-Men. X-Men are honestly probably some of my favorites. Binged X-Men Evolutions the other day on Disney+, and I used to love that show when I was a kid. Watching it as an adult, it wasn't good. It really wasn't good. It actually hurt how bad it was. Regardless, first ones I grabbed out of the box right off the bat, Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet, more Infinity War, more Infinity Gauntlet. This one's for sure falling apart. Yeah, the cover is separate from everything. Namor looks like he's taking a giant poop there. This is the exact reason that I'm packaging these up and fixing them. I don't want anything bad to happen to these. Cardboard, plastic, let's save some memories. Bunch of Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular, Amazing. Monsters, the Lizard, sick. You see a lizard, I see reptilians running our government. Spider-Man vs. Neo-Nazis, this one sounds awesome. He's at a punk show just like punching Nazis. What could be worse than falling into the microverse? Having a micro penis in the microverse. Spider-Man vs. the Hulk clobbered in Connecticut. It sounds like a fancy way of just saying they went on a drinking binge. The Hobgoblin, just another character that I love the design for. All those like razor teeth and the lizard looking eyes. I love it. Apparently they really liked this issue of The Amazing Spider-Man Female Trouble because we have 2 identical copies. It's not like one of them is in better shape than the other, and they both all have the same pages. We have our first sign of an X-Men character, Beast, joining Spider-Man. What is the mutant factor? I bet it's coffee. Okay, this cover just seems ridiculous to me. It's Spider-Man and Mary Jane getting married, I imagine. And the idea that she would be in a full wedding dress and he would still be wearing the spider suit is absolutely ridiculous. Because all you would have to do is look up the court documents to say, oh, Mary Jane married Peter Parker. Peter Parker must be Spider-Man. Bullshit. Another copy of Female Trouble. What is it with this issue? Alright, just finished up the last Spider-Man comic from this collection. Next, I have it separated into Ghost Rider comics. I love Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's honestly probably one of my favorites. I think he probably has the coolest character design. He's fighting like demons and stuff and monsters, which obviously also I'm into because monsters, demons, you know I love that shit. Not a fan of how they've portrayed him in movies and on TV, but comic-wise, Ghost Rider's the man. This Ghost Rider Living Nightmare one is insane. Definitely set this aside and talk about it. Next up, we've got some Punisher comics. This girl's boobs are literally popping out as Punisher's shooting this gun. This whole stack is all Captain America. Doesn't look like much, but I really love this cover. I'm such a fan of like the Hydra logo and their symbol. This comic specifically speaks to my soul. Captain America Nuclear Nightmare, and it's got his skull just sitting there in this wasteland. Captain America Nuke Tune maybe coming soon. Might have to, because that's sick. This one's definitely getting put aside. Captain America, The Grip of Nightmare. Nightmare's like probably top 5 villains for me, so this one's getting set aside. I just got a new Etsy order notification, so thank you to whoever just ordered. That's dope of you. This cover has my name on it, and it has snake people. Coincidence? I think not. Space Case Reptilian confirmed? Next up, we've got a bunch of Incredible Hulk comics. This cover is crazy. It's like super reflective. I love that. That's so cool. Oh man, I could watch this for hours. It also kind of helps that there's a borderline naked lady on the cover. That's some cool inspiration too. Maybe I could do something like this, but instead of crystals, it could be like a bunch of slime. Just a thought. Okay, I've got 2 covers to talk about. So I don't know who that is, but he looks like he's got some mind control over Hulk, and Hulk has these people's like limp, lifeless bodies in his hands. So I'm gonna need to set this one aside and find out the story. I'm really, really liking the background with those purples and then the silhouettes of the black trees. It's really creepy. And then there's some crows down here. I love stuff like that. So this one's getting set aside. Hulk with a machine gun, because what else would the Incredible Hulk need besides a massive machine gun? Dope. This one seems like they're giving Hulk an intervention. Hulk, please sit down. Your friends and family are here and they all care about you and they just want you to know some things. We really need you to stop smoking crack, Hulk. Apocalypse remakes Hulk. That sounds insane, and this has to be set aside. I need to know the story behind this. He remakes the Hulk like a Hulk Frankenstein? Alright, next up we've got a bunch of Thor comics. These ones definitely aren't in the best shape, so I'm really happy to get these into some wrap and kind of protect them. This one's like holding on by a thread. It's crazy. Enter Excalibur. I saw the other day on Twitter that Nightcrawler was trending, which is pretty sick. Nightcrawler's such a cool character, and it's nice to know that other people appreciate him. Especially these days. Like, why was he trending on Twitter in 2020? That's so crazy. I am definitely running out of cardboard papers, and we're not even halfway through this box of comics, so this is gonna have to be the last little bit to make it into this video. I guess in the next one I do, it'll be completely X-Men, which definitely looking forward to that one. A whole video where I can nerd out on the X-Men. I'm like pretty excited actually that all of that will get to be in one. But we'll go through these Avengers one, get them packaged up, talk about a few of them. Cool, this guy's melting, and that's already into that. That's my style. This is another insane cover. All flat color, and it's all raised, so it's super textured. It's really crazy. Namor's on the cover. He's holding somebody's hand, and then this dude is floating above them. So nuts. This one definitely has to be set aside. I need to know what the deal is and why the cover is just so damn cool. It has to be a great issue if they went this hard with the cover. This cover is really cool strictly for this like dragon lizard hand. I don't really know what this belongs to, but I might check that out for reference in the future when I'm trying to do some like reptilian lizard looking things, like how they drew all their scales and stuff and they have the spikes coming off. I really like that. Might have to set that one aside and possibly use that as some inspiration in the future. For some reason, you buy the package of cardboard and the plastic and they send you more plastic than they do cardboard. What sense does that make? Thanks. Now I just have this weird number of plastic. Whatever, I can ship art prints in them one day, it's not that big of a deal. It's not worth getting upset about. 100 of these wraps was not enough whatsoever. I didn't even get halfway through the box. We still have a bunch of Avengers comics, just some like random stuff, and then all of this is X-Men. So I'll definitely be putting out another video in the future, strictly on X-Men, but for now, I pulled aside some of my favorites, and now I'm gonna do a deeper dive and discuss some of these issues. Warning right up front, I am not doing this based on story at all. I don't care about the story. This is all about the art that's going to be found within these. So if you're looking for me to do like story reviews on these comics, you're on the wrong video. Sorry. Thanks for watching what you have watched, but I understand if you click out. If you are interested in seeing more Captain America, the Grip of Nightmare art, stick around, because the next 5 or so minutes is going to be all about the art of these comics.
Much later.
Alrighty, so here we are, totally not a month later. If there were changes to the background, I did that right now. I'm not filming this a month after I had originally gone through the comics. Basically, I pulled aside 4 that I really enjoy. So we've got this Ghost Rider issue, this Incredible Hulk issue, and then Captain America 11 and 12, and both of them are about Nightmare, so I'm gonna kind of combine them into one. So first up, we will look through Ghost Rider Living Nightmare. And if you can't tell, Captain America in the Grip of Nightmare and Captain America Nuclear Nightmare and Ghost Rider Living Nightmare. I like the term nightmare. Right off the bat, the whole reason I picked this issue is because of this cover. I'm just a huge fan of this guy, like in chains on this mountain. It looks like burning stakes. That's amazing. Like that looks so cool. This guy's all jacked up. I love monsters, and like this specifically speaks to me. I could definitely see myself doing like some kind of drawing in the future with like somebody in chains like screaming out. We've got Ghost Rider looking at a flaming skull. Going through a lot of reds. I'm imagining that this specific storyline is probably taking place in hell. I don't know, I just really like the Ghost Rider comics. Like flaming skeletons, hellish landscapes, all that stuff I'm super into. So just stood out to me. This guy's like spitting all over this girl with flowers in her hair. It's funny, she has red hair. That's literally like what me and my girlfriend look like. Like I'm this super jacked up guy foaming at the mouth, and she's a redhead with flowers in her hair. Oh, this is crazy. It's a priest going into a confessional, and once he's in the confessional, these 2 hands like burst through the side window and grab him up. God damn. You will not live to diddle another boy. That's so gnarly. Oh, whoa, look at that. He's like, has all these hands reaching out from nowhere and grabbing them, and they're all like crazy and spiky. That's sick. This is like exactly what I wanted. I wanted to like look through these and go through all this art and get inspiration for projects, and this is sick. I'm loving this. Oh, holy crap, he's fighting a guy with like 4 arms. It looks like Goro from Mortal Kombat, honestly. Like it honestly looks really like Goro. That character design's really cool though. Like these hands are all spiky. Damn, that was really quick. Not as long as I thought it was gonna be. Back cover, there's like this cool dungeon game. Probably do like some kind of nuke tune in the future. Maybe the radiation gives them like scales or something cool like that. There's some inspiration from the back cover. Ghost Rider Living Nightmare. It's got some cool stuff in there for my specific art taste. Not the longest issue or the best issue, but I definitely am going to keep that one aside, and in the future probably do like someone all chained up or a bunch of hands grabbing onto somebody. We got something out of this one. Next up, we are going to move on to the Incredible Hulk. And the whole reason I picked this one, as you saw earlier, was just kind of like the background design with like all the purples and the black trees. I'm for sure going to do like, I've been trying to work on more landscape art. Honestly, I do a lot of character design. I don't design a lot of landscapes, and I would like to get better at doing background design. I want to keep it creepy and like weird and monstery the same way that like I do my character design, but that really stood out to me. Like the black silhouette trees with the purples in the background. I really love those. So we'll set this down and we will get into this issue of The Incredible Hulk. As we look at the front cover, he looks freaking pissed, and he's huge. He's got these 2 bodies in his hands. He's got Homeboy on top of him. Looks like there's some sort of mind control going on. So open it up. Holy crap. First page, we got this super skinny guy all attached to a machine. Just a little public service announcement. Tobacco is wacko. Don't be like this skateboarding ruffian. I feel like personally attacked by that. Good lord, they waste no time. I really like that red and black color combination. That looks sick. So flipping through, I've noticed that like same thing with the cover where it was a lot of mixed purples. A lot of the silhouettes in this issue are also these like mixed purples and blacks, and purple is one of my favorite colors to work with. So Doctor Strange sighting, you know we love Doctor Strange. This is sick. These like mixed faces and stuff, that's really cool. I've also wanted to start doing like some projects where I like start taking different cartoon characters. Like I could take like Jake the dog and like Finn and make them this weird mutant mixed together person like that. That would be sick. I would really, really enjoy doing stuff like that. I've been trying to figure out how I want to do that, and I like that reference there. That's pretty sick. This dude's name is Doughboy. That's really cool. Again, a lot of purples and blues in this episode. These crows are really sick. I just really like those silhouettes of the crows. Holy crap, Hulk takes this guy and just mushes his head into the ground. That's gnarly. And then this girl's just like in the background climbing out of a window with her butt all out. For what reason? Who knows? He looks so skinny. That's literally what I look like with my shirt off. Like super bone thin, but like crazy abs. And I think that is it. So there's some cool stuff in that one. More inspiration for like landscapes and just color combos that I'd like to work with. Not so much character design in there, but more of just all those backgrounds. Those backgrounds in that issue were sick, and the way they worked with the colors into the background, they were subtle, and I loved that. That's gonna wrap up the Incredible Hulk issue. We've got one more to go through, and that's these 2 Nightmare issues of Captain America. I already kind of looked through this one. There's not much cool stuff in there. It's pretty like story driven. There's not a lot of like really cool art. Basically, I just pulled this cover aside because I love that font on the front, and I really like the green and yellow combo. Nightmare is one of my favorite characters in Marvel. I'm just gonna kind of flip through really quick and just point out certain like Nightmare stuff from it. This one, where Nightmare's head is just fully sideways and he's just giving this stupid grin, is exactly the face that I give my girlfriend when I'm being really, really annoying and I just really want to get on her nerves, and I'm like poking at her, and then eventually I'll just fully turn my head to the side and just stare at her, and that's so funny. I love Nightmare. He's like the coolest Marvel villain in my opinion. This has nothing to do with Captain America, but this ad for Oreos is freaking sick. And honestly, the Halloween Oreos are the best, let's be real here. I actually did like a drippy font recently on a hand-painted skateboard. You see, he's just kind of like looking out at the world, and that silhouette is so awesome. I don't know how many people are familiar with my art from like a couple years ago, but I used to do a lot of silhouette stuff, and God, that's so sick. I love that. Oh, fully nerding out right now and just having the best time. Yeah, a lot of this is just like Captain America and Sharon Carter fighting in midair. It's not that interesting to me unless I was actually gonna read the story. Honestly, this issue is just like Nightmare beating Captain America's in the Nightmare realm and Sharon Carter beating his in the real world. Eternal Night is mere minutes away. God, he's just freaking cool. Like Nightmare, I don't care if you people want to hate on Nightmare. He's awesome, and I really, really hope that he ends up being in Doctor Strange too. That would make me a very, very happy boy. Okay, last one. This one's sick. Obviously, I do Nuke-Tunes, so Captain America Nuclear Nightmare is definitely something that we're going to be going through. I love the Captain America skull on the front. I think that would be a really cool tattoo one day, so who knows, maybe one day I'll be making a video and you'll look at my arm and you'll be like, the hell's that? And it's Captain America's nuclear skull. On the cover, it's this crystal ball with Captain America's skull in it, and it's being held up by this like lizard and pharaoh. First page, immediately just like this super sinister nightmare smile. I love it. So he's got Captain America and Sharon Carter in this like crazy looking like cage, but the cage details on it, like looks like a dinosaur mouth open, all these crazy vines. That's definitely like a dragon head wrapped around it. Up here, it looks like there's a crazy like goat head or like ram thing. That's definitely like a Viking person with an axe. All the statue details on that are so sick. It's so crazy to think that like all the work that goes into these individual pieces just to put together like a whole story. Some of these could just be individual like amazing drawings and paintings, and they're just thrown all together for this like story driven thing. I don't understand how anyone could ever like not appreciate how insane all the art is in this. There's that same ad from the last one, still so sick. Oh, Small Soldiers! I used to watch Small Soldiers every day when I was a kid. Oh, it was sick. I would go to the person that babysat me and I would just watch Small Soldiers and Ants back to 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 back. So cool. Small Soldiers was the shit. This is crazy. This like monster head, and they're like growing every which way. They look like weird like mutant bat creatures. That's sick. Oh my god, Nightmare's getting rocked in this one. Look at his nose. That's so crazy. He's just getting folded right there. Oh my god. Captain America is just beating his ass. All these monsters are eating these fat people, and that's like, I find that super entertaining because look at her trying to climb away, and she's so hefty. Her like curls and her hair are falling out, and these like crazy worm creatures are trying to eat her. They look so funny. Joe Kubert's World of Cartooning, a series of corresponding courses on comic book art. Should I like call the number and try to buy it? I don't know. It probably came out before I was born, honestly. Oh, this is a crazy one. Nightmare eating himself, but somebody's also like ripping his gums and his like eyes are all like cyborg-like. That's freaking crazy. This is a crazy looking frame. This looks like he's actually taking on like a nuclear bomb. That's nuts. Maybe I should read the story behind this, because this is crazy. Oh, that Fantastic Four cover is cool where Johnny's just like on fire, but it doesn't look like he's enjoying being on fire. It looks like he's in pain. Talk about art, guys. Is that it? Oh, what the heck? The back cover is the sickest part. Look at that. Captain America all like tied up by some like thorns and crazy vines, and Nightmare's just up there all like long and pointy fingered, all skinny and sinister looking, and he's got this crazy like salamander looking thing behind him. That's the best part of the issue. Captain America, Nuclear Nightmare, definitely my favorite one that I've looked through. That is going to bring us to the end of this first installment of my family's comic book collection. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have ideas of different ways for me to go through and show these off, or like different ways you would like me to format these videos, please let me know. But if I don't get any good suggestions, I'm just going to keep going through them, keep wrapping them up, and go through some of my favorites and point out some of the art I like. I'm thinking maybe next time that I do this, I'll go with like a couple covers like this. Instead of going through the actual comics, I'll just be like, oh, I really found some inspiration from this cover, and then I'll do my own drawing and just kind of like show my drawing, show the cover that inspired it, and talk about what specific things inspired it. But I don't know, you guys let me know what you want to see. I appreciate all of you watching. This video did take like way longer than I ever anticipated. I filmed the first part, and then once I pulled them aside, I was like, yeah, I don't want to talk about them. Like, I just want to enjoy looking at the art. Sometimes I don't want to talk, but today we finally finished up the video. I'm quarantined, so what else is there to do besides make a bunch of videos? I've been doing a lot of art live streams on my YouTube channel. You should definitely start checking those out. Turn on notifications so you know when that's happening. If you'd like to support my channel, subscribe. Share the video so more people can find out about my channel. Check out my Etsy shop if you want. Whole lot of stuff going on over here. I don't know if you can see, but Bowser's kind of creeping his face into this. My next video will be the part 1 of the Mushroom Kingdom Nuke-Tunes. And you can't really see Bowser's stylized side, but he's there, and he's coming out most likely tomorrow. So if you're watching this video the day it comes out, come back tomorrow. Watch another video. Appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.